Good morning, friends. We'll just start RT AWS D1.1 RTF group dwells and butt joints. Procedure is standard. The procedure and the standard set for party self-governed radiographic testing RT when such inspection is required by this. And the requirement described herein are specifically for testing groove welds in butt joints in plate shapes and bars. We make it slide bigger. Methods shall conform to ASTM E94 standard guide for radiographic examination using industrial radiographic film and ASTM E1032 radiographic examination relevant using industrial X-ray film. Digital image archival shall be in accordance with ASTM E2339 standard practice for digital imaging and communication in non-destructive evaluation DICONDE. Digital imaging and communication in non-destructive evaluation. Now, the digital radiography methods shall be either computed radiography CR using the photoemulsified phosphor plate, commonly known as storage phosphor imaging plate, SPIP. Storage phosphor imaging plate. Or direct radiography DR using digital detector array, DDA. CR shall comply with ASTM E2033 standard practice of radiographic examination using computed radiography. CR using a photoemulsifiable phosphor plate. Photostimulable luminescence method and STM E2445 standard practice for performance evaluation and long-term stability of computed radiology systems. DR shall comply with ASTM 2698 standard practice of radiological examination using digital detector arrays and ASTM 2337 standard practice for digital detector array performance evaluation long-term stability. So variation in testing procedure, equipment and acceptance standard may be used upon agreement between the contractor and the owner. Such variation include but not limited to the following: RT fillet welds and all welds in T and corner joints, change in source to film distance, unusual application of the film, use of IPPS and DDS, unusual hole type, wire type, image quality indicators, IQI applications including film side IQI, and the RT thickness greater than 6 inch 150 mm, film types, density or brightness requirement. Variation in exposure, film development, image processing and viewing technique. RT procedure. Radiographic film and digital image shall be made using single source of either X-ray or gamma ray radiation Radiographic film or digital image sensitivity shall be judged based on hole type or wire IQI. Radiographic technique and equipment shall provide sufficient sensitivity to clearly delineate the required hole type IQIs. The essential holes of wires are described in 8.17.7 and 10.27.1. Tables is blah 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 and figure 8.4 and 8.5. Identifying letters and numbers shall show clearly. Safety requirements. RT shall be performed in conformance with all applicable safety requirements. Removal of reinforcement. When the contract document requires removal of weld reinforcement, the weld shall be prepared as described in 723.3.1. Other weld service need not be ground or otherwise smoothed unless surface irregularities or the junction between the weld and base metal may cause objectionable weld discontinuities to be obscure in the radiographic film or digital image. Weld tabs shall be removed prior to RT unless otherwise approved by engineer. Steel backing when required by 7914 or other provisions of the contract document. Steel backing shall be removed and the surface shall be finished flush by grinding prior to RT. Grinding shall be as described in 723.3.1. Reinforcement when a weld reinforcement is backing or both is not removed or where IQI alternate placement is not used. Steel seams which extends at least 1 by 8 inch 3 mm beyond the three sides of the required hole type IQI or wire type IQI shall be placed under the hole type IQI or wire IQI so that the total thickness of steel fabrication steel between the hole type IQI and the film is approximately equal to average thickness of the weld measured through the reinforcement and backing. Steel backing when required by 7914 or other provisions of the contract document, steel backing shall be removed. The surface shall be finished flush by grinding prior to RT. Grinding shall be as described. Reinforcement when the weld reinforcement is backing or both is not removed or where IQA alternate placement is not used. Steel seams which extend at least 1/8 inch 3 mm beyond the three sides of the required hole type IQI or the wire IQI shall be placed under the hole type IQI or wire IQI so that the total thickness of steel between the hole type IQI and the film is approximately equal to the average thickness of the weld measured through the reinforcement and backing. Radiographic film shall be described in HDMI as described in HDMI 94. LED foil screens shall be used described in HDMI 94. Fluorescent screens shall be prohibited. So that is important. I can say like this. The fluorescent screens shall be prohibited. Techniques. Radiographs shall be made with single source of radiation centered as near as practicable with respect to the length and the width of that portion of the weld being examined. Geometric unsharpness. Gamma rays and X-ray sources, regardless of size, shall be capable of meeting the geometrical unsharpness limitations defined in this UG equal to FD by D. So F is the source size, maximum projected dimension of the radiating source, or effective focal spot in the plane perpendicular to the distance d from the source side of the subject being radiographed. D is the distance from source to radiation to subject being radiographed. D is the distance from source side or subject to the film. The geometric unsharpness. Okay, it is under 2, that is 50 mm, is 0.020. For 2 inch, 0.020 inch, that is from 2 through 3, 0.03 inch over 3 through 4.04 inch, greater than 4.07 inch. That is the requirement. Source to subject distance. The source to subject distance shall not be less than the total length of the film being exposed in a single plane. The provision shall not apply to panoramic exposures. We'll stop here.